So you got your regular shrimps down, and we are leading with the head with that one. This one we're going to be doing our sideways shrimping. So what sideways means is we're going to be leading with the hip. So if I start over here, I'm on my side, my hip is going to be leading in the direction that I want to go. So same exact starting position as the last one, but now what I want to do here is I'm going to lead with my hip. So my hip is going to move first, and now my shoulder and my top foot are going to step back together. So hip, foot and shoulder, hip, foot and shoulder, hip, foot and shoulder. All right? So when we're doing that, very important to stay on your side the whole time, and also to keep that top knee pointing up, just like we talked about for the regular shrimping. So this knee's pointing up, and I'm on my side the whole time. I see some people where they'll move the hip, and then when they step with the foot and shoulder, they actually roll back on their back. And now it's really hard to actually move the hip because you're stuck on your back. So I want to move the hip, and then I want to stay on my side, and then move the hip, move the foot and the shoulder together. Hip, foot and shoulder. And when I'm doing this, I'm thinking of it as if I'm pushing away from someone. So if I was here and somebody's on the front side of me and I'm trying to kind of back away, I'm moving that hip and my hands are kind of pushing away from that person. I move the rest of my body, move that hip. Foot and shoulder, hip. Foot and shoulder, hip. Knees pointing up. And I'm on my side the whole time. And then we can do the exact same thing, but on the opposite sides. Now if I'm on my left side, I move that hip, foot and shoulder. Hip, foot and shoulder. And if I roll over, do the other side. So that's our sideways shrimping. Really important to get good at that one. That is going to save you, again, from being stuck on the bottom. Anytime you can be more mobile on your back, very important. Check out my other mobility off your back videos, transitioning to your knees, things like that. Being able to move around on your back, that's going to save you a lot right there. Now the last shrimping is a forward shrimping, or in this case, basically what we're doing is we're leading with our feet. So now we led with the head, we led with the hip, now we're going to lead with the feet. Now we're going to be pulling. So what that means is we are going to use the heel to pull, right? We used the toes before because we were pushing. Now we're going to use the heel to pull. So I'm starting in that same kind of starting position, but since I'm now pulling myself down the mat towards my feet, I'm actually going to use my bottom leg, and I'm going to dig in that heel. I want to keep that leg fairly straight. I always think of it like it's an ice pick. You're picking into the ice, and we're going to be pulling off that as we're climbing ice. My other leg here, I can take off the mat completely. I don't need it here. In fact, I'm going to use it as kind of a counterbalance to help me move around a little bit. I'm going to keep that heel dug in. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need to crunch. So I want to bring my shoulder close to my knee. And this is where I can use my top leg as kind of a counterbalance to move my upper body here. Keeping the bottom leg fairly straight. When I bend down, I'm not bringing the knee to me. I'm not doing this. Because as soon as you do that, now I can't really move. Right? There's nothing I can do here. I need to dig in that ice pick and not move it. I crunch down. Now the weight is on my heel and on my shoulder. And again, I'm going to lift my hips a little bit, and I'm going to pull them under and flat. So I'm bringing my butt close to my heel and then turning flat on my back. Now I can dig in that ice pick, crunch, and pull my hips down and then flat. Dig in the ice pick, crunch, pull. And you can do that back and forth. And you're leading with your feet going down the mat. So dig in the ice pick, crunch. This top leg is off the mat. I'm using that to help move my body. And now pull. Flat on your back. Dig in the ice pick, crunch, pull. And so that style of shrimping is really used. There's a couple escapes, one called the Jean-Jacques escape from kind of a modified mount when you're on the bottom. It's useful there. It can be useful to help get underneath people when they're standing, to try to set up either X-guard or get into an ashi position, things like that. So it definitely has its uses when attacking, to get underneath people especially. So those are the 3 main shrimps that I work on here. Give them all a try. Again, anytime you can just get better at being mobile on your back in any position, that's going to be key. And unless you're playing bottom, like full guard or something like that, where maybe you are flat on your shoulders, you can be moving around there. Otherwise, you should always be on your side. You should always be out on your hip, be on your side if possible, trying to move around, and that'll help you escape positions, re-guard, get up to your knees, all those things right there. If you can combine all of this with Granby rolls, you're going to have the ability to escape and get out of a lot of positions right there. So work on these shrimps, get comfortable with them, and we'll see you for the next one.